there. I'm going to do I'm going to channel Rado a little bit and do a run through here of Ortus Regni. This is a card game that debuted earlier this year. You can now go buy it at their website. The interesting part of this game is that the cards don't have any words on them. Here are the original cards over here, and you can see they don't have anything on them. But they do have some very nice medieval artwork. This game is about the Anglo-Saxon period of England and warring factions between earls and different earldoms. And that is the theming of this game. So take this and put this back over here. I'm going to run through a complete game for you here. I am going to be using the decks that have the words on them. These are the training decks. You get a red one and a blue one. And you see they do have the words on them that do explain what they do. In the original game, they do not have the words that explain what they do. Not all of those cards are in here. At the start of your game, you will take everybody gets the same set of 90 cards, and you get to pick from these 90 cards 25 cards, or actually 24 cards plus your palace. Everybody has a palace that gets played at the beginning. So 24 cards other than that of your choosing from that set in any order or quantities that you have available there. These two decks right here are pre-built to be very balanced and to give you a good idea of the gameplay. So I'm going to start off here by going through each of these decks and pulling out the Palace card. That is the first card that comes out, and everybody starts with that on the table. I believe, yes, I did that right. Those should be right there on the top. So, this is what the game should look like when you start. This is the red deck. This is the blue deck. Here are the blue cubes and the red cubes. This is the army deck. This is the battle deck. This is the jousting deck, and here are the Vikings. Alright, the first thing we do is take one red cube and one blue cube, and we put those in the bag. Shake the bag up, and then pull a cube out. Not terribly easy to do with one hand, but oh, there we go. Red cube, that means red gets to go first. So what we're going to do here is draw 5 cards from the deck. Normally these would be drawn secretly, but for the sake of demonstration here, I'll be playing these. Alright, so what we have here. I have a banner. A banner lets you do some bequeathing, lets you become king, or lets you opt out of a joust. Nothing really useful for that right now, so I'll hold on to that. We have a cathedral here. Cathedrals make you the head of the church. That means you can prevent other players from bequeathing. I'll tell you what bequeathing does in a little bit. Lands. Lands are great for building armies and also fielding armies when it comes time for battle. So these are very useful. And then a prince. Princes are good for bequeathing. You need to have a prince to bequeath. I will probably get into that just a little bit later once I use that. But I think out of these cards I have here, the first thing I'm going to do is play a land, just to show you how that works. That is a pretty basic action there. The land is going to get attached to the palace. Now, everything I put down in front of me for this red player and for this blue player are the earldom. This right here is a fief in my earldom, and fiefs are anchored by palaces and castles. I don't have any castles out here yet, but I have a palace, and so I'm going to attach a land to this palace. As soon as I attach that land to that palace, I immediately get 1 army card. That forms its own deck over here to be used later. And that is the end of my turn. I'm going to come over here to this player's turn. I'm going to do the same thing. I'll draw 5 cards. Alright, we've got a land here, which would be played just like I played the one before. Also a cathedral here. Now it's good to note that you can only have one cathedral in play at a time, so if I had played that cathedral over here, I could not play this card here. Now another action that you can do is if you have a card that cannot be played and you want to get rid of it, discard it out of your hand, every card can be used as a tower. So, with this turn, I think I'm going to play a castle. And I can then decide, after I've played, I can play one card, but then I can decide any of these cards I would like to turn into towers. So I believe I will turn this cathedral, just for the sake of demonstration, into a tower. Now what a tower does for you is blocks any incoming damage into your earldom. So if anything is trying to attack something inside of your earldom, they have to declare what they are attacking. They either have to attack the tower directly. If they go past the tower will then block one of that attack. Okay, so that is this player's turn. And at the end of the last player's turn, the Viking, if nobody has attacked anybody and no attacks have gone on, a black marker gets moved around to the front of this deck here. Once all 8 of those are down here at the bottom, the Vikings are going to show up and start attacking. So basically, if we play nice and don't attack each other for 8 turns, the Vikings are going to show up and they're going to start attacking. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this player's turn now. That was the end of round 1. Now I'm going to start round 2. Oh, and I forgot, at the end of your turn, you always pick up another card. So I need to do that over here too. And that signifies the end of your turn when you pick up that card. Also, if you go to pick up a card from your draw pile, and there is no cards left there to draw, that means you have died of old age. To prevent dying of old age, you need to bequeath. So I'm going to start kind of that process. So I remember I have a prince, a land, a cathedral, a banner, and a castle. So I'm going to go ahead and put a prince. He is a face card, or a so he can become a lord. So basically when you put a prince or anybody else with the face cards that will show up here in a little bit, you can put them in a palace and that makes them a lord. So this is now a prince lord. So having a prince lord allows you to do several things. You can use them in battle to fight. They are 1 attack and 1 defense in fights. And when it comes time to tally up who dies, they would not die because they are in a castle. All right, so that is the turn here. I believe I will keep the rest of these cards. I won't turn any of those into towers. And I will go ahead and draw a card to end my turn there. All right, so this turn over here, I am going to, let's take a look and see what we have here. Another castle and allies. That blocks political struggles, which I'll come to in a little bit. A land and a land. So I think it's time to stick a land on this. So I will do that. That gets this side over here, an army card. And I will draw a card to end my turn here. And since no battles took place between us, I will move that there. Okay, back to over here again. Let's take a look at what we have here. Castle, castle, banner, cathedral, and land. Well, I think it's time to start building another fief over here, so I'm going to put another castle there. And that begins a whole nother set of stuff that I can attach to. So palace, attach land, put a person in. I could install another lord in here and start attaching lands and other things to this castle. To be counted out of the game, somebody would have to destroy all of your fiefs. So right now, this would have to be destroyed, and this would have to be destroyed. If I only had the one, then that would be the only thing that needed to be destroyed to count me out. This person over here also has 2. Oh, and very important, draw my card. Mark it. Okay, very good. And back over to this player. Let's see what we have here. A land and allies, castle, and a champion. Well, I've only got 4 cards here. I'm going to show one other thing that you can do. Well, not yet. Let's see. I am going to put this champion in this castle here. So I'm going to install him. He is now a champion lord. And I'm going to draw a card signifying the end of my turn. I got a prince there for next turn. So this is going to come around. So 3. I've got 5 more turns left before the Vikings show up. Alright, back to red. I've got a market. So I am definitely going to play that market. I think I'm going to play it here and attach it to this castle. What a market will do is it essentially doubles everything your lands can do. Your lands, normally when you play a land, you get 1 army card. But if you play it on a castle with a marketplace or a palace with a marketplace, if you play another land here, you'll get 2 army cards. And you can also, when it comes time to battle, you can field 2 army cards on that piece of land. So I did that. I'm going to draw a card. And that's the end of this turn. Alright, back over here. Let's see. I've got some allies. I've got a prince. Alright, so I'm also going to put this prince in this palace here. So now I've also got a prince lord and a champion lord. And that's all I'm going to do here. Draw my card in my turn, and I have a vassal. These guys can come in very handy in political struggles. You can also send them as emissaries to the Vikings. What that's going to do, you remember before when we started the game, we both put 2 cubes in this bag. Both of those cubes are still in this bag, and that's very important for when the Vikings come. But if I were to send this vassal to the Vikings, I'd be able to put another cube in this bag. But if I do that, that also accelerates. As soon as you do that, one of these black markers goes down 1, and they attack sooner. So you may or may not want to do that. It may be to your detriment to have the Vikings come sooner, or it may be to your benefit. Because if you've got more cubes in the bag, what happens with the Vikings is once they come out, they have an attack strength, and then you pull a cube out of the bag to determine who decides where that attack is going. So the more cubes in the bag, the better your chances are of controlling the Vikings. Okay, so ends that turn. Another one of these moves around, so 4. Only got 4 more left before they show up. Alright, back to red. Got a castle, a land, a cathedral, a banner, and a champion. Alright, well I've got a prince lord, and I've noticed he's got a prince lord. I don't want him bequeathing, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this cathedral down here and play that. That also gives me the power to decide in battle. Church decides if the every time you have a battle, you pull one of these battle deck cards. In one of those is a church decides. That means whoever has the cathedral or the most churches. Cathedral trumps any amount of churches, but in lieu of anybody having a cathedral, it's whoever has the most churches would decide a church decides battle. If it's even churches, then it's just a normal battle. So that's what I'm going to do there, is play that. for the future. Oops. I'm going to put that there. Draw my card. And we'll move on to blue again. All right, I got this vassal before. And I think what this guy's going to do, since his castles are all full, he can't play that vassal in any castles. Vassal in the castle, always fun to say. He's going to go ahead and send as an emissary to the Vikings. So you go ahead and place that up there. You take a cube of your color. You place that in the bag. And then you move one of these black pieces down there. Okay. Oh, got another one. All right, so that will be for later use. And at the end of the turn, you also move this. So that moved 2 down. Okay. So those Vikings are getting dangerously close. And this player knows it. So let's take a look at what we've got going on here. Definitely going to play this land here up on this marketplace. When I play the land with a marketplace, I will get 2 army cards. And since I have these down here, you can only have 1 prince out at a time. I've already got one. So this extra prince isn't doing me any good. So for him, I'm going to make him a tower for some extra blocking defense there. I'm going to hold on to this banner for a little while. But I think I'm going to go ahead and also tower this castle just for some extra added defense. Leaves me with 2 cards. I'll pull 1 more card to end my turn. And we're done there. Alright, over here. Allies, castle, land, vassal. Got another vassal. If I do this, I'm going to go ahead and send another emissary to the Vikings. I'm going to put another blue cube in the bag, which means these Vikings are my buddies. But what's going to happen here is I'm going to move this black cube down, a black marker down, and I'm going to draw my card to end my turn. Once my turn is over, this other black cube, or black marker, comes down. Now we've got all 8 at the bottom. As soon as all 8 are at the bottom, you draw as many cards as there are players, plus 1. All right. This is a bit confusing here with the Vikings because you have the foot soldiers and the chieftains. The foot soldiers are an attack of 1, but there are 2 people on the card. The chieftains are an attack of 2, but there's only 1 person on the card. So he's worth 2, they're worth 1. So right now we've got attack of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how much attack is coming out for someone, but we have to determine who. Shake, 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 shake. And pull a cube. And it's blue, go figure. Since there are 3 blue cubes in there right now and only 1 red, it's a very good bet it's going to be blue. So that attack is going over here. So we've got 4 attack coming over here. Castles are a strength of 2. And palaces are a strength of 3. There are your sweet, juicy targets that you really want to take out to take your opponent out. Most everything else is a strength of 1. But if you kill a castle or kill a palace that anchor all these things, as soon as you kill this, all this stuff goes with it. If you kill this, all this stuff goes with it, and the person inside of it dies as well. With only an attack of 4, that's not a whole lot. Plus, it would have to get past these 2 towers. So attack of 4 minus 2 to get to here would only be 2. I could potentially take that out with a strength of 2, but I've already got a 1 over here to block, so I could block with 1. Plus, I could field army to help block. So it's a pretty good bet that I wouldn't be able to attack this sweet, juicy castle here. So I am just going to have these Vikings attack these towers directly. So that's 4, and then the way towers work is any defense you mount for towers, has to go in front of the towers. They block anything coming in, but when you have to block for them, it goes up there. Now, you can simply choose just to let the Vikings take out the towers. They're attacking the towers. They can attack of 4, attack of 2. They would take all those towers away, and you wouldn't pull a battle card for that because you didn't mount any defense. I have a couple army cards here. I'm going to field one of them here. Technically, I could field 2 army cards here and 1 here for a total of 3. But I'm just going to field this one just so we can go through the battle deck here. So these guys, attack of 4, are attacking my towers. I am sending this guy out to block for 1. So he's only going to block 1. They're coming in with 4, so they're going to get 3. So they're still going to take the towers out. You're wondering, why would you throw that guy away and just let him block for that? Well, these battle cards can work out in your favor. So you can gamble away one guy just to make sure one of these battle cards comes up and see if that helps you out or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this. Okay, that's a normal battle. So in this scenario, the Vikings will kill off my 1 army guy. I'll put him in the discards up here. My army guy would kill off 1 Viking. Whoever is in control of the Vikings gets to pick. Since this guy has a whole bunch of cubes in that bag, he wants to keep the Vikings at as much strength as possible. So he's only going to kill one of the lower guys there, so keeping them in an attack of 3. Alright, but let's say that went a bit of a different way. Let's say, let me take a look through this deck here and show you a few of the other cards that can come up, just so you understand how that could benefit you. All right. So, along with the attack with the normal battle, this is the castle in the green field normal battle, which we already used up. I'll have to shuffle these back in. This one right here is a horse coming out of a gate. This is Defender Wins. So if I had gotten this, everything I did would work. Nothing the Vikings were putting on me would work. So basically, I would have killed one of them. Oh, and they did kill my towers, by the way. So in this scenario, they would not have killed my towers. They would not have killed this guy, and I would have killed one of them. So these will go to my discard. Make some space here. Discard. There we go. So those go to my discard. So that would be that scenario. This scenario is attacker wins. This means everything they did would have worked. They would have killed my guy, killed my towers, but I would not have killed one of them. They would have been still at full strength. Then this guy right here would have been good for me as well, because I have the cathedral here. This would have been church decides. So basically it would be up to me whether this attack was a defender wins, which I would have picked, a attacker wins, which I would not have picked, or I could have also picked for it just to be a normal battle. You can play this game with more than 2 people. So let's say this game was 6 players or 4 players, and this comes up. You have this, but you are not in the battle. You might want to go ahead and pick normal battle just so they both take some losses. Because sometimes it's good for your enemies to lose some army fighting somebody else so they don't try to attack you. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that like that. Alright, so that was just the end of the turn. That was just the Vikings attacking, so it goes back to my turn over here at red. Right now, this is what I have. Well, I don't like that blue has all those cubes in that bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take a vassal of my own, and I'm going to put another red cube in that bag, just to even things up a little bit. That sounds like a good plan. I'm going to keep these 2 guys here. Not going to mess with that. Don't have any towers there right now, which is a little bit scary. I'm going to get this, another marketplace, that goes in my hand. So over here at blue, we are going to look at what we have here. Allies, castle, another land, and another land. Still got a tower up. I'm going to put another land down over here, which gets me another army card for my pile over there. And another card here. Alright, we still have 2 Vikings left over from last time. So once all these black things are down here, they are no longer in the game. You can take these away and forget about them forever, because then every time at the end of the turn, another one of these cards are going to come out. Now, they only attack again when it gets back up to 3. But since we only killed 1 last time, as soon as another one comes out, which is another 2, so now we've got a strength of 5, this is going to happen immediately. So we've got a strength of 5 here. We've got to figure out which side is going to take that over. So we're going to pull another cube out of the bag here. Up, and it's blue again. So blue is going to attack red, of course. So there's a strength of 5, but now there are no towers in the way. So now things are going to get hairy. So he's going to go look over here. This is a strength of 3. You can always ask somebody how many army cards they have. This is important because you know each one of these army cards can only block for 1. There are other types of army cards in here as well. You have these knights on horses, which are 1 defense, 2 attack. So they block 1 defense, but when it comes to attacking, they kill 2 people. And these guys here, 1 block, 1 attack. So they're only ever 1 defense either way. They're just for the sake of not knowing. So blue knows I can block for 2, and I've got land enough to block for 2. Plus I can use my prince for 1. So I can block at least 3. So coming at me with 5 and trying to destroy my palace here won't work. Can't get that. But they can choose to either take out a land and keep me from fielding so many people, try to take out this castle and take out all of this, or try to take out this market, which would damage me pretty good as well. So I think what the Vikings are going to do is try to go after this marketplace right here. So 5 directed at this marketplace. If I don't block at least 5, because as long as 1 damage gets through, it's going to take out this market town right here. Alright, so 5, I'm going to block with my prince. I'm going to block with this guy. And I'm going to block with this guy. That's all I have. Wait, maybe. 1, 2, 3. I technically could pull a champion out and block with him. If I pull a champion out of my hand, he's going to get immediately discarded. I don't think that's wise yet, since they're just going after the market town. I'll leave that be, so we'll let this play out. So we've got 5 here. I'm blocking 3, so 2 is going to get through. If this doesn't work out in my favor, that market town is toast. Hey, look at that. A church decides. That is very much in my favor, since I do have the cathedral here. So I'm going to decide that everything I do works, nothing they do works. So I've got 1, 2, 3 attack. So that's going to kill 1, 2, 3 of them. Nothing they do hurts me. So all of these guys go to Valhalla. And the Viking threat is eliminated for now. These guys get to go back to the barracks and have some tea and a nice rest after that well-earned battle. So, there we go. So, nice try, blue, but not quite. So that was the end of that turn. Beginning of the next turn is back over here. So, I've got some cards over here that have been discarded. Market Town's still there. I think I'm going to go ahead and install this champion. right here in my castle. And that'll be it for this turn. I'll pull another card. Back over to this person's turn. Ooh, an intrigue card. These are political cards. We haven't done one of these yet, so I believe I'm going to play this intrigue card, especially since I just played that champion over there. This is a definite power play you're going to want to do. Alright, so what the intrigue card does is it will, let me set this down here. It's an offensive political. Steals, play to attempt, steal properties from a single fief, steal reserve armies, or steal a mercenary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal properties. I'm going to play an intrigue and go, hey, I want 2 of your properties. So how this works is when an intrigue is played on you, the first thing you have to do is play an allies card. Unfortunately, I do not have an allies card here, so I am not going to be able to block this at all. But for the sake of demonstration, let's say I did have an allies card. I'm going to steal one from blue here because they had an allies card, so they could have blocked the intrigue, so that would block it. But let's say then this guy had a vassal. He could go, you blocked with allies? Well, I'm going to push with a vassal, which would then push it back over here. It's like, oh no, what's going to happen? Well, it would go through now with that vassal push unless this side also had a vassal to push with. So you can push your vassal and push it back. Then they would have to play another vassal and push it back. This also counts if your vassal is in a castle. You can push with that vassal installed in the castle. So it doesn't have to come from your hand. It can come from your hand, or it can come from one you've played out on the board. So that's how political struggle works. But I was not so fortunate over here with that, so what's going to happen is I have to pick 2 of my properties to give away. Let me see, which ones am I going to do? Well, don't have too much choice. Don't want to give them both my lands. We'll give them this one land that's just a 1. And it looks like I'm going to lose the cathedral. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep the cathedral. I'll lose the marketplace. So he gets to put those anywhere he wants. I'm going to put a market town there. And the land here. Still got the tower going there. This intrigue card goes to the discard pile. And that is the end of that. Alright, so end of this turn. Oh, draw a card. And 1 Viking comes out. Now they don't attack again until it gets back up to 3. So back over here, we are going to do, what are we going to do? Well, I can still bequeath because I kept this cathedral. If I had given the cathedral over there, I could not have used this to bequeath. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'll just show you how that works. I'm going to use a banner. I have a prince already installed in a palace. So what this does is I said I am going to bequeath. I take the prince out of the palace. I put the banner and the prince in the discard pile. I then add the discard pile back to my hand, or back to my draw pile, and shuffle them. Which I'm doing off camera badly because I'm only shuffling with one hand. Which I shuffle badly anyway, so one hand will probably be better. Okay, so that is one-handed shuffling. So that extends my life. I extended my life by 4 cards right there. So I have 4 more cards to draw than he does right now. So if he runs out of cards here, he's going to run out before I do. Therefore, I would be the winner. Alright, that's my turn. Back over here to this turn. I got another prince here, which I still have a prince there, so that doesn't do me any good. I've got an allies card, which will block that. Land. I've got plenty of land over here now, and a castle. I'm going to throw down another castle. But I'm also going to make this prince card into a tower. Also to note, when you do discard the towers, you have to tell your opponent what those cards were. So the things that they need to know are what you discard, what you've turned into towers, if it gets destroyed, what it was, which is another reason to go after towers to see what that was. They need to know how much army you have. They also need to know how many cards you have left in your draw pile. That is all public knowledge. They don't know what cards you have in your hand. They don't know what type of army cards you have in your deck over there. Alright, so that's that turn. So another Viking comes out. And we're back to red turn here. Oh, I forgot to draw a card at the end of that turn. Oh, got another banner. I'm kind of dwindling over here. There's not a whole lot going on. I really need to protect myself. So, I am going to send another vassal to the Vikings. I am then going to use this banner card since I just bequeathed. That's probably not going to happen again anytime soon. So I'm going to use that as a tower. And I'm going to hold on to this marketplace because I can't do anything with that right now. And draw a card to end my turn. Allies card, which would have come in handy earlier. Okay, so back over here to blue. What is blue going to do to me now? Allies and a land. I didn't draw a card last time I did my turn, so I'm going to draw it now. I'm going to stick another land on this castle here. You'll notice when I stole the lands and installed them, I did not get army cards for that. But since I played this one here, I am going to get just one because I stuck that on one that did not have a marketplace attached. Alright, so now Viking again. So these guys are going to attack again. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 attack right now. So 4 attack coming to blue this time. Well, blue is always getting them. It's not coming to blue, it's coming from blue, and that means it's going to red. So putting the tower up, a good decision. Things aren't looking good over here. 4 attack coming over here. You can see I can block with 1, 2, 3. And the tower is going to block for 1. So these Vikings are just going to attack that tower. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and block with my 1 champion here to make that the card happen. And let's see what that is. Normal battle. So the tower goes away. Show my opponent what that was. That was my banner. It goes to my discards. My champion does not die because he was installed in a castle. The castle protects him. But he did kill one of these guys. Actually, no, he killed 2. Champions will kill 2. And blue is going to go, well, I'm going to let you kill the 2 smaller guys and keep the big guy out. Okay, so back over here to red. Not a whole lot to do but play the market town now. So I put the market town down. That does nothing for me, but I can field 2 things there. Draw a card in my turn. Another allies card. Back over to blue, who's got everything. Don't have a whole lot I want to play over here, so I'm going to recruit. So you can recruit at any time. If you have a market town, you can use a land attached to it to recruit, which means you're going to get more army. If you get a market town, you can do 2. So I'm going to recruit. That means I don't use any cards. I'm just going to gain some army cards over here. And then draw a card. That ends this turn. Another Viking comes out. Let's see. All I've got over here are 2 allies cards. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start drawing up some army cards as well. That seems to be the wise decision. I'm not going to do anything with those. And I got an intrigue card this time. Intriguing. Back over here to blue. What do we have to work with? An allies card, a church card, a castle card. Alright, well, it makes sense now for me to play this church. This church will allow me to, I've joined the religion, I can now bequeath. I don't get to decide, church decides, but I can bequeath. And thus extending my life over here just a little longer. So that's what we'll do. Another Viking card comes out. Back to 3 again. And this time it's attack of 4 again. So let's see who controls the Vikings. Red this time. Finally some good luck for red on the Vikings. So 4 attack over here. There's 2 towers here that would have to get past before I got anything inside the town, inside the earldom here. So we're definitely going after the towers. We're just gonna block with 1. Just gonna block with the 1 champion here, just to let that happen. And normal battle. So the Vikings take out the towers. These towers go over to discard. That was the cathedral and a prince from earlier. The champion takes out 2 of these, but red gets to decide which 2, and red is not a fan of the Vikings, so he's going to take out the big guy and a little guy. There's only 1 little guy left. And that is the end of that. So, back to red's turn again. I seem to have an intrigue card. I definitely need some lands back. So, I'm going to play this intrigue card. Well, if I was smart, I would have. But, oh, this guy has an allies card, so we're going to block that. Now, do I have any vassals? I do not. I have another allies card, but that doesn't do me any good. That only blocks the first go. You can't push with an allies card. So, that doesn't happen, unfortunately. So, I was trying to get some more lands, but that didn't work out. And that gets discarded over here. So, another card here to end this turn. Church. And back over here to all I have is a castle. Don't want to play that castle right now. In fact, since I lost a lot of army over there, I'm going to go ahead and recruit 2 more army. And I'll hold on to this card and pick up another one. Alright, 1 more Viking comes out. Another big guy, so that's attack 3 right now, but they don't do anything yet. Back to red. Well, I've got no towers out for defense. A whole bunch of cards that are not real useful right now. So I'm going to hold on to 1 allies card just in case some other political cards come up. But I'm going to do a recruit. Recruit 2 army. I only got 1 land, so I can only play 2 army cards at any time. But I'm going to go ahead and put out 2 more towers. So I turned that castle, that church, and the other allies card into the towers, and I've got an allies card left. Okay. Oh, pick up a card, end of a turn. A land, very good. That'll come in handy. Back over here. Got a castle and land. Well, we'll go ahead and put another land out, which means it's attached to that marketplace, which gets me 2 more army cards. Quite a bunch of army cards over here. A whole lot of defense on this side. So right now it's this guy's job just to try to outlast this person before they can bequeath. If they can't bequeath and this person can outlast them, they can win. So that's pretty much this guy's play at the moment. Just castles right there. Played the land. This is done. Card to banner card for bequeathing, and it can do that. So that might happen. So this guy's done. Another card comes out. We've now got 3 Vikings again. So who controls the Vikings? Red controls the Vikings again. So let's see. Red will definitely attack over here. The easiest thing. Oh, let's see. There's no towers for defense. There's 4 there. I mean, he could definitely defend with some of that. But we're going to make him work for it. I'm going to go after this marketplace right here, because this is effectively doubling all 3 of these lands. That marketplace needs to go. Oh, wait a minute. I've noticed he can bequeath now. Bequeathing is pretty much my end game. If I said that before, we don't want him to bequeath. We need to kill this church. That is the play. Okay. Odds are he's going to block it, but that's what we're going to do. So we've got 4 attack, no towers, coming straight at this church with 1. As long as 1 attack gets through, that's going to make it. So he's going to go, well, I'm going to block with my prince. I'm going to block with my champion. I'll block with 1 footman. I'll block with 2 footmen. That's 4. I've now blocked everything you're throwing at me. But let's see what happens with this card here. Oh, normal battle again. So all this works out. These 2 guys are killed. So they get discarded to the army graveyard over there. 2 of these guys are killed. Red gets to decide which 2. He's going to pick a big guy and a little guy. Actually, no, all these guys get killed because these 2 guys were also in the battle. So none of those guys survived at all. Which is also good news for Red, because I don't have to worry about Vikings for a little while. Okay. That was the end of that turn. Going back over here to Red. So I definitely need to play another land here into the market town, because I definitely need to have more room to field more troops. I can pull another one there. Alright, well, since that attack on my church over here was a failure, and I finally got a banner card, and I have a prince in a palace, this guy will now bequeath. So, take the banner, put it there, take the prince, put that on top, take all of the discards, put that in there, which that was more discards than what I had over there. So now, unfortunately, that play for Red is no longer going to work. So that's going to be the end of this part. If you want to stick around and see how this works out, I'm going to do another part. But that is basically how this game is played. So thanks for watching.